Hey guys, what's up? Luke here, and I know it's been a long time, but this is some pretty exciting stuff. The sun is really bright here, but I wanted to show you guys something that meant a lot to me, and if you've checked out my YouTube a long time ago, you will know that this is near and dear to my heart. So without further ado, let's go around the corner and see what has popped back into my life. So I know we've been waiting on my red car for a long time to come back, but in the meantime, I tracked down my original baby right here and a buddy of mine picked it up, and we're gonna try to restore it back to its original glory and maybe even better. So yeah, here's my original blue SRT4, and we have already, well, buddy started ripping it apart. Renee, how you doing?
How you doing, guys?
Welcome. Taking the door panel off, pulling out some old wires. From what we see, a lot of this stuff is still on the car, which is mind-blowing. It's still got my rims that I put on here, the TSWs. It still has the Polk speakers we put in a long time ago. I had a nitrous kit on here. It still has a lot of the nitrous solenoids. That's actually what I was tearing apart. Now, obviously, it's seen better days, right? But for the most part, it runs good. And, you know, we're pulling out everything that everyone's done over the years, including myself. This is where the nitrous system was. A lot of it's still there. Solenoids are still there. So we're kind of pulling all that through and just disconnecting it. This is going to be basically like a stock car. And we're just going to kind of make it, you know, believe it or not, look good. Kind of be more just a clean, simple, you know, reliable little fun car to have. It looks like this was put on. I think I went back to the stock intercooler before I sold it, just because I had a big front mount that was leaking. Looks like this was put on by the previous owner. I think he said he did it. That's still my valve cover that I had powder coated. It's actually used to have sparkle, a little bit of flake in it. So that's still there. The fuel rail with the Schrader valve still on. That's not the same intake. I had a intake with the stock intake with the bottom cut out of it. But it's funny to see a lot of the stuff that I put on here is still here 7 years, almost, yeah, 7 years later. It's going to be pushing 8 here pretty soon. Different headlights. I had the black housings in there, but I'm sure they got all fogged out. I'm just going to use the ones that were on my car that I just bought brand new black housings for my red one, but it's not like they were really in bad shape. I just wanted it to be brand new on my red car. So we got the door panel out here, and we're just we had a window regulator go bad there, but Renee's over there working on the wiring, just pulling out some of the stuff that was done over the years. We had a couple gauges in here, and we're just basically going to clean it all up. We're probably not even going to run the air fuel ratio gauge and just run stock boost, just have the boost there, gauge there. And we're just kind of going through it right now. I figured I'd give you just a little introduction on what you might see a little bit more of along with the red car. All right, so we messed around with it a little bit here. We've got a pile of wires coming out. Most of it was from the nitrous system. So we've got one bolt holding this shock on and one bolt holding that shock on over there. So it was almost like whoever took off the two bolts or the strut bar here just left the nuts off, which no big deal if you're not going to drive it around. There's one nut on this side of the bumper out of 3, and the same for this side. There was no bolts on the bottom of the bumper. I had a old school watt box in here before they had the plug and play harness, so we started disconnecting that. We're going to redo the wires here, and also there's a tip rewire here somewhere. And I think I had a TPS rewire, but it was just done like a cheap way. So I'm going to get the kinetic stuff, or we'll get the kinetic stuff and do it the right way. Pulled the nitrous system out off the Schrader valve, got all those lines out, and just cleaned it up a little bit. So far, we're getting there. But it'll be a work in progress. I think he's got some of the wiring out for the. Did you take something out up here yet?
I just took the gauge cluster out.
Got the gauge cluster out?
Yeah, the side pod.
Yeah. And then we're probably not going to run that. He's going to probably just run the AEM on the stock location. So still got the switch for the activation of the nitrous, which we got to follow those wires back. And probably going to pull out the whole stereo system because we had a lot going on in here, but it's all rusted down here in the back where people have kind of piled the wires up back here, and the RCAs are nice and crusty. So we're just going to get rid of all this mangled mess here and redo it. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed looking at my old SRT. I had it from 05 to almost 2015, so it was a big part of my life. Longest car I've ever owned, still to this day, and it's cool to see it back. So hope you guys stay tuned and check out more on the red car and this blue car in the future. Say bye.